Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Truth to Heals podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Anthony Hernandez. And in my last solo episode, I was talking about religious abuse and spiritual abuse. What is it? Is it the same thing? Is there a big difference? And so in that last episode, I was just really talking about my opinions. What do I think religious abuse is? And I'm not here to give concrete definitions, but I'm really here to start, hopefully, healthy conversations. Conversations that should have happened a long time ago. But after I did that episode, I was really thinking, before I talk about spiritual abuse, something that's really bothering me is thinking, what would the cult be thinking? Now, for many of you who probably have no idea about my background, for 11 years actually, I entered into a community that I thought was very religious, but also I thought that this was going to be a family, that this was a very healthy environment. And the truth was that it was very unhealthy, very manipulative, a lot of coercion. And so being part of that cult, I know very well the mindset. I know very well the tactics, the deceit. And so if I was thinking, if they would have heard me speaking in that last episode, because I was talking about my opinions on religious abuse, and that is, like, as I said, when you use a scripture passage, when you use a doctrine or a church rule, or you use a position of authority to bully, harass others, the cult would say, wow, according to Ryan Sanders, we're victims of religious abuse. And so for this next part, I want to be very brief, but I want to give an example of the deception and why they would say that they're victims of religious abuse. Because inside of the group, you join, and what happened was we were being isolated from everybody else, not just from our families. We're really totally being isolated. Our communication with outsiders, it's always monitored, and it's even if we're going to be having communication with people from other church communities, it's always done in a way where, we're friendly and ha 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 in front of them. But behind closed doors, our leaders, our superiors, they'd be telling us, oh, these people outside, they're persecuting us. They're keeping tabs. They're trying to break us down. And so they would bring all of these false reportings and tell us that everyone else is out to get us. So this is part of a cult mentality, is when there is that us versus them mentality. And they would do this on purpose because, in my opinion, they wanted us, the members, to feel like we could only trust them. And so they would make up these lies as if we really were being persecuted. And I want to give a true example. And this was from in the Philippines. I remember there was a time where we had to leave we had to leave a diocese. This was in San Jose, Nueva Ecija. And what we were being told was that the bishop was out to get us, that they hated us, that we were being persecuted. And every time we go back to this diocese, we have to dress different. We have to be hiding. We have to make sure that no one is following us. So inside our minds, we're being persecuted. Like we're like next to martyrdom. It's like the end of the world. It's about to happen. But years later, I heard that somebody spoke to that actual bishop and asked, like, what happened? And the bishop said, I don't know. Y'all just left, and I don't know, like, what happened. So the bishop, in this example, I'm not talking about all cults. I'm talking about the Alliance of the Holy Family International, this community. So what happened was they would always be feeding the members that people, religious authorities, everyone else is out to destroy us. Therefore, the only ones that we could trust are them. The only ones that we could believe are them. So while, like, they might, if they were to have heard my last episode where I'm talking about religious abuse, they would then say, oh yeah, see, yeah, we're victims because people are out to get us. They're out to destroy us. But the truth is, a lot of it is fabricated. A lot of what they're doing is making the members fear constant paranoia, because what happened in the example that I'm giving is that in the middle of the night, we had to get up, pack our bags, and we had to literally flee. We had to just take off. And it was like, what the hell is going on? It's like, oh, we have to leave because the bishop is kicking us out. Like, he doesn't want us here. Like, they're persecuting us. And so in my mind, especially being at a very, young adult, I was like 18 at this point, a lot of sleep deprivation, a lot of like extreme fasting. We're very vulnerable. And so we trust these people entirely. But the truth is, that's another form of some kind of abuse. I guess it's religious or spiritual. For me, I guess it's a bit of religious abuse where inside the community, inside the cult, they are just making all of these lies. They're making up all of this bullshit, and then they're telling you, don't trust this person, don't trust those people because they're out to get you. But the reality is, they were making our lives miserable. They're making our lives a living hell. And there is no accountability. There is no humility. There's no apology. There's no, they have their YouTube channels. Just get on the YouTube channel, get a mic or no mic, whatever, and just say, hey, take accountability. There's none of that. There's always deflection. It's like, oh, no. We're not the ones doing religious abuse, or we never did religious abuse. Actually, we're the victims of religious abuse. And Ryan, he just proved it by talking about religious authorities using their powers to harass. No, the ones who are doing all the harassing is the cult, the AFI. And I'm not saying all the members, but for damn sure, a lot of the leadership. And so I just wanted to talk about that real quick. I hope that you've learned something today about the cult that I was in. I will be trying to talk a bit more, but it's kind of hard to talk about cults and to do all these interviews because it takes a lot of time. But if you would like to help me out, you may do so. And the best way you can help me out is by subscribing, by giving a like, leaving comments. Hopefully these are comments that will create engagement, conversations. And I hope we can have healthy conversations without having to go towards hatred and all that stuff. But you can also help me by going to buymeacoffee.com/truth7. Buy me a coffee or 2 or 3. That always helps me to keep this channel going. And with that, thank you very much. In my next solo episode, I'm going to be talking about spiritual abuse. Have a good day, y'all. Peace.